If I have to switch over to StreamYard, I will. It's just
Is it giving you still giving you trouble? And my kids
no.
acting like they can't hear me. I know they hear me. Y'all gonna act like y'all can hear me screaming?
We were filming.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know y'all were filming. Put some water in this thing.
And the mom was like, let me get rid of these zips and I'll be looking.
Oh, don't keep that off of your face.
I think we're live.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
No, I think we are. Y'all, give me get lit.
Yeah, we are. I see it now.
But you know what? I can't see their comments.
Oh, is it not coming up? It's not coming up like it would on StreamYard.
Mm-mm. No. No, 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 no. Excuse y'all. Somebody's laughing at me, so I guess we're doing something. Whatever works. Whatever works. I'll see the comments from my phone, I guess,
That's what I
however
was
it
gonna
works.
say. I've got it. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I'll look at it from my phone. That's what I'll do. Hey y'all. Okay, I'm using Zoom today because um y'all know StreamYard kicked me off. It didn't kick me off last week with Tay, but it kicked me off. Smooth kicked me off when I was with Alex the other week. So
Thank you, Bug.
You're welcome, Mama.
Zoom today because um all right, here we go. Yana be trying to act like she know talking about I guess technical difficulties. To be honest with you, we were talking, so we wasn't looking at the time. But hey y'all, welcome to my Friday night run my mouth chat, and I am with one of my faves, Miss Christina C. Jones. So welcome, Miss Jones. I appreciate you taking time out of your Friday evening. I know it's early for you.
Yeah, it's a little early. It's a little bit.
Yeah,
It's a little. What
it's
time
early
is it?
for
It's
you.
6. Yeah, it's just 6 for me.
Okay,
So not
so
too bad.
okay. So, y'all, if you see us looking down, that's because we're looking at the. Ayana, can I finish my introduction and everything? She all in here talking about Pierre. She ready. She's ready. So, okay, my standard question, which I already know the answer to. When did you start writing, and what prompted you to start writing? Before we jump into behind the scenes.
I started writing when I was like young, but in terms of writing to publish, that was 2012, like early 2012, and then I actually published my first project in late 2013. And I feel like this is just what I'm supposed to be doing. And so having that feeling kind of helps, it helps keep me going.
Okay. Yes, I found you. I don't know. I know the very first book.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
remember because we had we did then we do like a Skype chat with your
A,
book club.
a, a phone. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. I still got my T-shirt somewhere.
Yes, we did. We did a phone call. We did a phone
Okay.
call about yeah, we sure did. Um and then I was Christina's beta, one of her betas for like a hot second. A hot second, but I'm not good at that. I'm not good at because if I like you, I'm like, I don't want to tell you, no, I don't like that scene, and no, I didn't. And that's not what she was looking for. She was like, no, tell me this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, it was good. I'm like, she gonna fire me, and I know I'm not gonna be. But it's all good. It's all good. I promise you, it's all good. Um, they talking about boy. They in the chat hot already. I haven't even started my first question, and they in the chat hot. So let me go on and get started. For I have to, I have to answer to some folks. So I'm gonna just say I loved it from jump. I have been trying not to book people. I guess that's the schedule until I've read it. I know I'm gonna enjoy it and like it and all that. But I like everything, just about everything you've done. I've read everything. If I haven't read everything, which I'm pretty close, I'm sure I pretty much have. I still have it. I think the only thing I did not read was I can't even think. I know the series, but I can't even think it. Where the Rose Came From. That's the Catch Me If You
Oh, gotcha,
Can.
gotcha, gotcha.
I think that's
No,
the
that was
only
the
one.
Deuces.
Roses
For the
came from
Roses.
Deuces.
That's where that was first introduced. Now the If You Can series, that's the only thing that I've written that's in third person, and so I feel like that's a barrier for some people because I don't read third person either. So if
Okay,
you
so
ain't read
that's
that
the
one,
only
I don't
one.
blame you.
But I feel like I know I read Deuces. I'm just drawing a blank and I'm mad at myself because I scheduled you for today, and a lot of the old people, your other characters, and me being me, I would have went back and refreshed my memory on a lot of the
Gotcha.
other characters. So like, I'm real familiar with Nubia and all of them, but then there's some other people and I was like, is that new? Like the name sounds familiar. But then I remember watching, because I watch everything. I remember you saying we was gonna see a lot of people from
Yep.
previous books in
Yep.
this one. So then I'm sitting here racking my brain going, is
Now,
that
where do I
one?
remember them from?
Right, right. Or is that somebody new and all of that? So right off the rip, I fell in love with Pierre right off the rip. He's so damn mannish that
And
the way he just started off with when she hit his car and he was like, "Shorty, you hit my shit. What's basic?" I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but basically, it's
right.
like,
Why you
"What's
got an
up?"
attitude?
Yeah, you tripping off me. You hit my shit. Just in the whole Shorty through the whole book, I loved every minute of
Look,
that.
I have been
Um,
cracking up every time somebody comments on that because like I'm not from Atlanta where it would be a full blown shouty like but I'm from the South. And so every time I type that, like I was literally shorty, like literally, because it's the Cali, it's the Cali inflection instead.
right.
And I was like, oh my God, people are gonna think this is so corny, but I'm gonna type it anyway because I like it.
No, I didn't think it was corny at all. I did not think it was corny at all.
I'm
I love
glad.
I loved all of it. And then how she was just so I knew I wasn't gonna like her less from Jump Street because to me, I'm not a man, but if your woman get up in the middle of the night and she gone, you're not calling. If you really invested in it or whatever, whether you think it's one of my moments or not, if you really
Yep.
invested in it, you're gonna get your ass up and you're gonna come, you're gonna be banging on
Yep.
my door like, why did you leave? So I thought, well,
Yep.
his whack ass, he gonna be whacked from jump. So I loved her nonchalant attitude as well. Like, I mean, not I didn't look at her from beginning as spoiled and bougie, like, how they was clowning each other,
Mhm.
with a name like Logan, you spoiled and bougie, and
Yeah.
when she clapped back with basically, nigga, you got your nerve with a whole diamond
Preach.
grill in your mouth, like, come on. So, Christina, how did you, what made you have Vegas? I know LA wasn't really a whole lot in there, just, references
Mhm.
to LA, but what made you have Vegas as the backdrop?
Well, what happened is when I first started writing this book, like I had, I've already written the stuff in Vegas. That's the high stakes series. And so I already kind of had in my head what the vibe is like when I go to Vegas for my projects. It's going to be a certain vibe, the high stakes series, and then um, the roads they got away, and then Rowan's story, mutually beneficial arrangement, like all of that, it has kind of like a dark kind of vibe, or like a dark and sexy kind of vibe. And so that was what I wanted to write. Like I felt like it had been a while since I'd written something like that. And so that's what I wanted to do. And so that's where I took my mind. Um, and I started this book and then I put it down and then I came back and then I came back to it because the first time that I started it with it in my mind that it was going to be that kind of dark and sexy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It just wasn't quite curling all the way over for me. And
Mhm.
the opening that this book has is not what it had before. Like I vividly remember, like at first I couldn't like, and I've been telling myself that I need to start writing down how I like where the ideas to start a story come from. But
Mhm.
Obama put out his I actually can't remember. I think it was Barack. It was either Barack or Michelle. One of them. They put out their list of like of music that they had been listening to or whatever. And one of the songs on there was Ari Lennox, Night Drive. And I had never heard it before. And so I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I like her. Let me go listen to the song. And the song is not at all about what it's not at all like how this book starts like, but that just kind of put me in the mind of a heroine who who is out in the middle of the night. She's got her music going. Like what would be the circumstances around that? And I could just like vividly see Logan like just scream singing along with some breakup music along with don't hurt yourself or something like that. Like I could vividly see that in my mind. And then it just came to me like this is where she's going to meet him. Like that's not all that's going to happen. She's not just going to be out driving. This is where she's going to meet
Mhm.
Pierre. And so I ended up coming at it from a different angle. And so it didn't necessarily end up being the same vibe as like Ante Up or Deuces or whatever, but it still ended up, I stayed there. I stayed there with it. And I actually realized the day that this book came out, and I was glad I didn't realize before then, but the Ante Up cover and the behind the scenes cover are actually really, really similar. And I mean, I made both of those covers, but I did
Mhm.
not realize it until the day this book came out. And if I had realized it before then, I would have changed the cover. But because it was release day, I was like, all right, girl, you
It
just
is
gonna
what
have
it
to
is.
yeah, you're just gonna have to deal with it this time. I'm sorry, there's a fly in here and it is like driving me up a wall. So if y'all see me moving around, I'm not crazy. Well, I'm a little crazy, but it's the fly today. It's not it's not the other stuff today.
Okay, I'm looking down. Y'all, they in there having their own full blown conversations. I can't see. Like, I can't go back. Like it's streaming. I can see what they're saying, and I can. So I don't.
Yeah,
Now Zoom is different for me for this. So I'm
yeah.
kind of trying to catch up.
I'm scrolling through
Um.
now. Lauren, yes, Lauren is from Deuces. Lauren was Ace's friend that tried to get her. They tried to get her, and she's the one that I won't say too much in case people haven't read Deuces yet. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but yes, Lauren is in Deuces, and I'd actually initially forgot to I forgot to include her. I think on the blog post that I had made where I did all the character connections, I think I forgot to include her. And somebody mentioned it to me later, but it was after I had already, it was already posted and everything.
Okay. Terry is asking, do you have a playlist?
I do not have a playlist. It is actually I actually don't often do playlists for my books because I can't listen to music while I write. I'm too busy dancing and singing to to write.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I will, sometimes I will and sometimes I won't. I think it's maybe like a quarter of the time I'll actually have the playlist. But a part of the reason that I don't do playlists is because another reason is because if I did, it would all be the same music all the time because I typically don't listen to new music. Like the Ari Lennox song is like a 2 or 3 year old song or something like that. Now sorry to that song. I had never heard of it before and never seen it before in my life. It's a good song though. It's a really good
Is
song.
it?
Yeah, it was a good
Okay.
song.
Devin says, I need to crash into some cars so I can meet the love of my life. LOL, just kidding. No, you're not. Because I'm thinking the same thing. Who can I crash? Let me get my ass about this house because I've been in the house 6 months. Let me get out. Let me. And the bad thing is telling my business who I was. I don't want to say who I'm supposed to say, who I was talking to. I cut them off just before all of this popped off.
Ah.
And so it's like I've been chilling, really getting, as I said, getting to know myself for a minute now. Devin ain't she for real. She's for real. So Nubia had a big part in this book. And I think that was great. Like we got to see her a whole lot. And I got to remember how sassy she is. And
Nosy.
I mean, huh?
Nosy.
Yes, nosy, sassy, all of it. I got to like relive where it made me want to go like, I need to go back and reread that just because. And I think that is, always great. But the fact that they slept with each other and there was like, I love that there was no guilt on Logan's part, really. To me, she didn't like she had no guilt on her part the next day. Like, that's what I needed. Almost how in The Best Man when she was like, it's what I wanted, it's what I
Hey.
needed, and it is what it is. You could be mad at him all you want to, but I played the part in that. So that's how I felt Logan was like, it is what it is. I don't care nothing. And at some point I thought, and I'm gonna tell you now, Christina, I jump all over the place because things will come pop in my head. They know I'll be all over the place. At one point I thought she was going to I'm gonna hurt your friend too. He texted me, I'm gonna hurt your friend. At some point I thought she was gonna get back with him just to appease her parents. So I love that you made her stand strong and not give in to none of that.
Now it was it was actually in my outline. Like I don't like I call it an outline. It was really, this is what I think is going to happen. I may or may not
Mhm.
get to that, but it was actually in my little fake outline that she was going to get back with him, and Pierre was going to like flip the fuck out. Like he was going to like we were gonna see a whole other side of him. But it's like once everything kind of went down, and then once she had like I was halfway through the book, or it may not have been quite halfway, but at the time that she had that 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 kind of argument or whatever with her parents, where she went to their house to have dinner,
Mhm.
like up until that point, it was in my plan that she was going to get back with him. But then once that conversation happened, like I just kind of sat with it, and I got up, to do my writing the next day, and I was like, I can't write that. Like I can't like that does not work anymore. Like, okay, cool, that's what I thought it was going to be when I was kind of at the beginning of it, and I still, I'm still kind of conceptualizing it. I still, because I didn't even know how the book was going to end. And like I said, I didn't even know she wasn't going to get back with them or whatever at
Mhm.
that time. But it was like I couldn't do that. Like I felt like I would almost like I would have lost respect for her if she had done that. And it just, like I felt like I would have been putting too much of me into the book in terms of trying to make it fit what I think what I think it was going to be, what I think it should have been, or whatever.
Mhm.
It would have been too much manipulation and taking Logan outside of her character, because what was in her character was not like, when she was done,
Right.
she was done. She wasn't
Right.
like we can be cool. Like if I see you, hey, how you doing? How's your family? All of that,
Right.
but we're not like, once she was done, she was done. And so I had to kind of stay true to that. But yeah, it was
And
supposed to go down that way.
he was pissing me off. I told you I didn't like him from Jump Street. I don't care if he semi-redeemed himself toward the end. We good. He got with an old girl and all of that. I don't care, because when I'm telling you it's over, it's a wrap, we done, and you like, well, I'm gonna give you some time. No, nigga, I don't
Right.
need no
Like
time.
I, I need you out of my face.
Right? Are you
I
hearing
mean,
me?
what I need.
Oh, all of
and
that. I don't. Oh, he was. I didn't like him. I didn't like him. I didn't like his
and
mama. I ain't like his auntie with her messy behind. And look, and they had just this small caption in the book, and I was so proud of her mom. I told you, see, I jump all around because we haven't even. But I was proud of her mama when she was like, I was like, that's a true mama right there. She's like, this heifer out my face. My daughter
Like
don't
we
need
not
you.
right.
I can see all the hand movements, all of it. I don't care how sassy, how refined lawyer you are. You mess with my baby, is a whole nother scene that's coming on.
It's something different happening.
I gotta scroll back down and see what y'all saying. Logan
With
was
Jerry
Team
Curl
Virgo.
wig.
I'm with Taylor. Logan was quickly one of my favorite. Yes, I liked Logan. I really did. I like Pierre too. I liked all of them. I liked everything. I don't know what Ayana probably talking so damn fast she can't figure out what she's trying to say herself. Oh, she glad somebody said they be glad behave at toward the end of the book. Okay, I ain't fooling with y'all. I'm gonna keep going with what's in my head. Um, his sister, say her name for me because I'm thinking one thing, but
In my head it's Elodie, but I pronounce like the way that stuff happens in my head because like I still call Iris like it's Iris is how you say that, but I call her Iris in my head. But to me it's Elodie in my head.
okay, because that's what I was like. Melody, the teacher in me, drop the M. Is
Basically, yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
What I liked that he was, well, they were, I don't want to use the word damaged to a
Mhm.
degree, but they were broken. I mean, we don't
Yeah.
have to know her whole story to know that she was just as broken based on the things that he was saying,
Yeah.
even though she was much younger when their parents died, but she was just as broken as he was.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm glad that he was able to own his truth. There was no excuses. It is what it is. I'm not holding a whole lot of guilt. Um, I just liked his whole vibe. Aside from being mannish, aside from being managed and being fine and all of that good stuff, I just liked his whole vibe. And I like the fact that from Jump Street that they gelled so well to get well till, he was like, let's just go back, he wanted to relive, you
Yeah.
know, as he said, it was his default mechanism to make her piss her off or whatever, because he wasn't feeling all of that. But I like the way that he let her lead the whole, I don't want to say the whole thing, but pretty much the way, he knew how to fall back. He didn't
Mhm.
pressure her throughout the book to like, okay, we just gonna do this. You want me. You want me. Although it's obvious, that they wanted each other. Um, I did too. Tara said she loved his whole vibe, the brooding, the flawed, fine as fuck. You right. I can get the whole 100%. I can agree with all of that.
And it's crazy because I was really concerned. I did not think that readers were gonna like Logan. I didn't think that readers were gonna like Logan because she's so like I loved her. I loved her like that super organized, super together. Like she, if something is going on, you ask her to do something or you tell her that you've got a project that you're on, she knows what to do. Like I love that. And that like that's I want I want those qualities, but I feel like it can be kind of off-putting sometimes because like I know people like that in real life and I know how off-putting it can be sometimes
Mm.
in real life. And I worried that her good wouldn't, I worried that her good wasn't coming through enough. But then I just kind of was like, what, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's
You
gonna be what it's gonna be either way.
I liked all of that about her, and then the fact that she was still like down to earth. She was still
Yeah.
cool, even though she didn't like throwing out her family name, which I could relate to that. Um, but she was still down to earth and
Mhm.
wasn't trying to ride off of their coattails. She was trying to make a
Yep.
name for herself. And I like that about her cousin as well, that she did have somebody else in her family that
Mhm.
was supporting her. But even though she was at odds with her parents,
She still had that family
still
connection.
had that, yeah, she still had that family connection and was somebody that was kind of went through the same thing she went through.
Mhm.
Now this little lawyer boy, he, I was like,
So
this little corny dude. I mean,
the so okay, let's go back to her not getting back with Les. Okay,
okay,
so that was where he came from. That was where he came from. Like I never knew he was gonna exist. Like when I started writing this story, I did not know he was gonna exist. And in my mind, like I thought Anthony was charming.
I guess he was, but then I guess okay, he was, but then I don't like corny dudes either. So I guess he was like,
He was, yeah. He he definitely had, it was definitely some courtiness with it too. So I get it, but I'm just cracking up so bad because even like among my betas, like there was like a stark line. Like one half of them was like, yes, somebody to give Pierre a run for his money to get him to do right, and the other half was like, who is this? Like,
well, I don't feel like he was giving Pierre a run for his money. I feel like Pierre was like, I'm gonna let this is in my mind. I'm thinking Pierre's like, I'm gonna let this kid run his course and she'll be back. I ain't worried
right,
about this dude. And then but then I knew it was getting to him when he was like, I did a little low key investigating, find out about him.
right.
He's a lawyer, whatever, what like. But I like he was like, whatever, okay. And then I laughed so damn hard about this whole bracelet. Like everybody is.
That is why when I did my little stickers, I gotta see if I got a set of those so I can show y'all. When I did my little stickers drawings, y'all see, here go the flowers. Here go the flowers.
Uh-huh.
And there's this little bracelet that everybody was so pressed about.
My friend ordered Connie said she texts me and says, I ordered such some stickers and da 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 da. And I was like, what are you talking about? From CCJ. I said, she said, so I ordered you some too. I was like, well, thank you. I appreciate it. They know I be fussing, like I miss everything. I miss the boxes, especially now being in virtual school. Like it's
Yeah,
hard to
yeah.
when I'm in the classroom, it's easy for me to like low key have my phone on the side of my desk and on Zoom, they recording every damn thing. You can't do nothing. If your head is down too long, it's like it's gonna be like, what was you doing? Oh,
Yeah.
nothing. I was writing, So now I fake it and I put a pen in my hand so that I look like I'm doing something. But I miss everything. So I guess she was helping me out. But yeah, the bracelet had me cracking up. Like Pierre, you caught a whole damn attitude about this bracelet.
Like full blown.
Like, yeah, dude, you oh, let me jump back to I thought it was really sweet that she bought him the grill.
Oh,
And
I
I got
got the grill too.
the grill on there too.
Yep. Let me grab this back. Y'all should have seen me in here trying to like look at pictures and stuff like now how am I supposed to draw this? But if y'all can see, come on, the light, the light is playing with me. So
Yeah.
it's not gonna let me show. There it goes. There's the
Oh, okay.
there's the little grill right
Okay.
there.
So somebody said, what is it? Taylor is saying, and it was from some teenage girls, they so foolish. Exactly. Because Anthony was foolish
Completely.
with the whole, like, this whole bracelet is cracking me up. Now, Sienna, that heifer, I ain't like her either from jump when she walked in the door. I could tell she was going to be, I knew right off the bat, I was like, this is going to be the problem chick right here. When she took his whole script and just, oh, Okay, I'm gonna finish that thought because I don't want to forget this other thing I was gonna tell you too. Because I
Okay.
did write it in my notes. But I was like, who is this bro coming in here going to why he even what he call her for? Everybody's telling you it's fine.
Look,
And you called her anyway.
that girl, like, okay, so y'all know there's this point in the script where the reason why he calls her is because he's talking about how, the way that the women in your story are treated, like you can tell a lot about how, the person feels about women, etc. And
Mhm.
he loves women, and not even like a romantic way, like he
Right.
respects and all of that. And he wants to make sure that comes through. And he talks about how, even your villains, should be fully realized and all of that. And I couldn't even take the advice that I wrote down myself, because I hated that thing. Like, I don't think there is I cannot think of a villain character that I wrote that I disliked more. Like, it really took a lot for me to not literally have her get hit by a bus or something. And I don't even know, like like that girl, like she like
I
she
I
oh
love the way Logan handled her every single time.
that nice nasty.
Yeah, Logan was like, "I'm not with the shit, so I'm gonna let you know. I can dish it." And when she kept calling her, "Oh, your little sister," you let her talk to you like that, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, "Bitch, you don't even know what you're talking about because you're so
Right.
self-absorbed. You're not even listening to him telling you that she's not. I'm not technically her boss. Like she's not
Yeah.
my assistant. You know."
Like, I brought her in here as part of my team. She's here,
Right.
she has more right here than you do. But
Right. And the way
because you're so, oh, I hate that girl.
somebody said her whole energy was all aroused, was like, I was like, don't get your ass beat on the way to rehab. Yes, I feel all of that. I feel all of that. But this is what I was gonna say too. I feel like I want to see this show. Like, I'm like, damn, CCJ, like you really had me where it's like I was so invested, like you are the story within a story. And I was
Mhm.
so invested in the whole process. I love that you took us readers through the whole process of what he was going through as well. I mean, even down to the script dialogue that you shared and how Elodie and Shaw, right,
Mhm.
that was his name, right?
Mhm.
Like their chemistry in it, the whole I so I'm like, okay, CCJ gonna write this. We're gonna put this on Netflix. Is this gonna be, you know, how we gonna make this part really come to life to fruition?
Now, what they did in this book, like that process that they went through, like that really is a dream of mine. Like, not necessarily one day sober, but because I couldn't come out the gate with something like that. Like, I don't know that I could come out the gate with something, of necessarily of that type of magnitude, but I would love to do something like that. And so the research that went into, okay, so how many weeks is going to be here, and how long does it take to film an episode, and what is this process like, and what is that process like? And then one of my betas was the one who actually mentioned, like, in the scene where Elodie is worried about doing that intimate scene with Shaw, she was like, something that people are doing now is they're bringing in intimacy coaches and stuff. And I was like, oh, I've never heard of that. Yeah, like, yeah, let's do that. Because, and she was like, that seems like the type of thing that Logan would think of. And I was like, you know what, sis, you are absolutely right. It is. And so I was able to kind of look into that and all of that. And it's so involved, and it's a lot. And it was kind of, I don't know how much it comes through in the book, but it really was kind of a whirlwind process, because from start to finish, this entire book takes place over like 6 months. And so, like, this wasn't, it's not like this was like this years long process or whatever. It happened fast. And so that's why it was so, like, that contributed to kind of the stress and the anxiety of it. They didn't have to take it that fast, but I'm the type of person, like, I'm the type of creative that once I'm onto something and I'm ready to do it, it's like, all right, let's do it. Like, if we don't have to wait, why are we waiting? Like, come on, let's get it done. And so I think that kind of fed into it some too, but it was really cool, like, seeing what that process was and getting to do like that teeny tiny bit of screenwriting to
It
include,
was
to include in the book.
and I'm not just saying that to be saying that. It was
I
like I
appreciate
literally
that.
was like, I would watch this show, or and see, I grew up in LA, so, and I have family that is in the business.
Hmm.
um I almost said something. I almost said something about my baby daddy, I swear. I did. But he's in the business. um I mean, he's a professional comedian, and I would be on a lot of sets with him because he had this niche where he was able to get in. Like, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but when they do live shows, they have a comedian that is there to entertain the audience while it's a cut here,
Ah,
or is when they have to go do a wardrobe change for live sets. I don't know. I'm sure not for, sets that don't have a live audience, but for sets that have a live
yeah.
audience, there is a comedian that is, there. And he made a name for himself outside traveling, being on a lot of, and he was good at it. I can't take that away from him. He was good at it. So I've
That's
seen
really cool. I never knew that.
yeah, I'm assuming they still do that, well, I mean, not now because of what we're dealing with,
Right.
but so I would be on a lot of sets, and there was a lot of things that I could see how some stuff would drag out forever. You'd be surprised. So I guess I could really relate to everything that you put in there. From
Hmm.
I don't want to sound like I had a whole lot of experience, but I did spend a lot of time on some sets. And then I have another
So
family
it's
member that is
familiar.
a musician. So I see it, I've seen, in my young years, I've seen some things. And so you were right, on point, and you made it very, very prevalent to this time frame. I mean, not COVID, but
Yeah.
this time frame now. So, somebody said definitely good research done. You could tell, yeah, it was very good. It was very good. And Elodie Terry said Elodie is a whole vibe. Oh yeah, will we see her? Does she get her own book? Does she really need her own book?
See,
Oh,
Elodie is a baby. Elodie is a baby, and so really that would be my only concern. I do have a storyline in mind for her. I actually already have a title in mind for her. If if we come around to that, I don't know if Shaw is going to be her hero or not. I don't know if that's just a fling or if that's something long term. It's because it's still, like my mentally, I'm not there. Mentally, I'm drawing stickers. So I don't know, but it's definitely a possibility. It's definitely a possibility.
okay, okay, okay. Let me see. Where else am I? Let me see. Y'all throw some more stuff in there while I scroll through. We didn't see the Drakes though. We heard about the Drakes, but we didn't see the Drakes.
I purposely
Left them
there were
out.
people there were people that I purposely left out, and then there were like the Drakes I did not mention, the Clarks I did not mention, and then there were people that honestly could have been mentioned, but I didn't bring them in. Like I could have, instead of them filming at the Drake, they could have filmed at the Reverie. They could have gone to Kingston's hotel. And I thought later, like, man, why didn't I do it there? But then I felt like if I went there, then I would have to bring King in. And
Mhm.
it was almost a thing of, but okay, if I bring him in, then I'm gonna have to bring Asha in. If I bring him and Asha in, I'm gonna have to do this and I'm gonna have to do that. And I like it was just a lot. And I felt like the Drakes, there's a little more distance from the Drakes since I've only
Yeah.
ever written like a short story series on them. I felt like there was a little more distance there so that I could kind of keep my focus on, keep it on Logan and Pierre instead of widening it out, because like my brain will go all over the place. Like all over the place.
Someone said this is the first full-length novel in a while. Will there be another one
No,
this
it's
year?
not.
No, it's
I put
not.
out a full length novel 3 months ago.
No, it's not.
I have put out this year. This is my third full length this year. There was The Point of It All back in February, and then I did the Clarks, and then after I did the Clarks, I did Reinvention of the Rose, which was June. Yeah, that was in June, and then Me and Somebody's Son, which was the novella, and the Clarks were novellas, and then Me Plus Somebody's Son was a novella, and then I didn't really count
I loved me and somebody.
the roast. That was so fun. But I don't really count the roast that got away because that was kind of like a side project, and it's not even technically romance, and so I don't really count that. But then we came back to here, which was a lot. It's 100,000 words, and I wrote it in like a month, which is a lot. Like a lot. And I was joking with my husband. I was like, that's why I'm in here drawing stickers and making journals and making magnets and stuff now because I just drove myself crazy.
Okay, this is the second time I've seen this is the second time I've seen this question, and I didn't get to ask it the first time. So it says, why I would like to know why CCJ didn't think P3 was an alpha male. I totally got alpha male vibes. He was just low key with his. I didn't know you didn't think he was an alpha male.
That's what it is. One of my friends explained to me like that. I don't think that he was alpha male because I typically associate alpha male with asshole, with what people call alpha hole. Like
Mhm.
and that's just the association that my brain makes. And the only other like what I felt like was like the true alpha male that I wrote was Kingston, and he was an asshole. And so because Pierre was not an asshole, like that was kind of the connection that I was making there. But then, somebody explained to me, like, no, just because he's not, he doesn't have to be a jerk to be an alpha male. Like, those two things don't have to go together. And I'm sorry if y'all hear that, if that's making a noise. My earrings keep hitting, keep hitting those cords. Um, but yeah, that is because I was making that connection instead of just letting it be what it was. And once that got pointed out to me, I was like, oh, you know what, right? Because he did tell Logan, like, where they told you to be off your feet. So where you gonna be next time I see
Right,
you? Off your
right.
feet.
Terry, we're not even discussing that today, Terry. So we're gonna move right along with the next question. Not even entertaining, not because I have a reputation now that I don't like them, and that's not true. That's not true. Um, and you know what? I haven't had it. And this is a sidebar. I haven't had a chance. I asked a question one time at an event, and you wasn't supposed to answer that question. That question wasn't direct.
I wondered if you was gonna bring it up. Like, no lie, I literally thought about that earlier today.
I was like, we got in the car and was like, we just kind of looked at each other and was like, that question was not for CCJ to answer, but she saved them. She saved them so tough. I was like, I'm gonna leave it alone because that was not. And I think
I take it so personal.
but I think I don't want. I'm trying to think of the most diplomatic way to say it so it doesn't seem like I am a hater because I am not. I truly, anybody that knows me knows that I'm not. Because there are times when I want a quick read. I think my question was more like there was like this influx of them at that time. And so that was the question was like, okay, what is this phenomenon that's going on with that now? And so I know y'all don't know what I'm talking about, but Christina, and I haven't had a chance to ask her. And that was like last year,
Yep.
close to this time last year. And I hadn't had a chance to ask you. It's like, that wasn't for you. Because Alex said something the other week, like, yeah, Joss, we know. And I'm like, okay, wait, time out. Let me clear this up. It's not that I don't like novellas, because I have in my Kindle app right now, I love when you do the Thanksgiving ones with because I love me some Roman and Simone. I love that they were having fun in Walmart, Target, wherever they was having fun.
Yeah, when they're going to get the kids Christmas gifts.
Yeah. I don't dislike novellas. That wasn't my point. My point was it was just like this influx of them at the time. So I had to clear that up. But I'm not getting ready to what is it? Enable Terry with her, because Terry had me under the table somewhere, and I'm like, no, I'm not fooling with her in that. So we know it's true for you, Terry. We know how you feel. You've let it be known very, very much so how you feel about them. So I I know we kind of touched on her parents. I like that she stood her ground with her parents, and regardless of her daddy getting hyped, because sometimes when a girl and her dad, I'm glad she didn't shrivel down to, okay, I'm gonna do what he wants me to do. She
Mhm.
stood her ground 100%. I mean, as respectful as she could
Yeah. And I mean, I
without.
think the fact that she had her own business, I think that helps because if she was depending on them, even if she was working for her money, even if she was working in the firm as a lawyer, that's still who signs your paychecks. It's still coming from them. And I think the fact that it's like, okay, I don't need this. If I don't like, I don't have to take this. I pay the bills around here. I pay the bills at this apartment, and I can buy my own car. Like I don't need that from you. I feel like that even though she was grateful for everything that her parents did, the fact that she didn't necessarily depend on that, I think that helped her be in a position where it was okay for her to feel like she could stand her ground and stand firm in what she believed, even if it hurt. She didn't want to be at odds with her parents. She loved her parents. She had,
Mhm.
and they had a good relationship and all of that until she decided to, to do something that wasn't what they wanted. And so I think that, and I feel like this happens kind of a lot in different ways with us, like with Black parents, because even now it's like I want my girls, I don't want them to feel like they have to shrink, or I don't want them to feel like they can't, speak up for themselves or anything like that. But at the same time, girls, go sit down somewhere. I said, sit down. It's like we want these things for our children, but then when they exhibit them, we're like, hold up, where you get that from? But it's
Right.
like we have to give them room to, we have to give them room to, I guess we have to trust what we instilled in them. And I think that her parents, I don't think she had ever given them, I guess, an
You need to
opportunity
push
to
that.
see that yeah, she had never given them an opportunity to see, like, y'all raised me right. Like, you don't, like, I appreciate that y'all are concerned and that y'all want to look out for me, but I got it. I got it. And I want y'all to be in my life. I want y'all to be a part of this. I want y'all to, see me grow and see me flourish, but you got to let me do this the way I want to do it.
And I think when I realized that she was what 32, somewhere
Hmm.
around in there, that's kind of a point where if you're in that situation where you follow the rules and everything, where it's like, you know what, I've had enough. I'm okay. I
Yeah.
gotta live my life and do this for me. And so I didn't think anything was wrong with it. When she told her daddy to come pick up that car, I was like, well, damn girl, that's right. Come get it. If you don't, I'm gonna report it. Let me go on and get what I want. Like that whole stereo, you're above that. No, but this is what
Hmm.
I like. This is what I want.
Right.
And I get
Right.
what
Right.
I want. You know, my aunt taught us that. Like she used to say her husband would just come home with a car when it was time for her to get a new car. Not what you want, what would you like? She just come home and it just be a car to drive on. You supposed to just like it. Okay, well, I don't
Hmm.
like that. I want what I want.
Right.
Excuse me. Let's see, there has to be a balance in legacy. Sean is right. It has to be a balance in
Yeah.
legacy. Isn't just following right into the footsteps of others. So when Anthony admitted that I was like, no, this cornball is not admitting. Like, you're not supposed to admit that. And then you admitted it to Pierre. I was like, you ain't do nothing to this man ammunition to take what you think is yours.
And that's why Pierre was like, And that's why what happened on that desk happened on
Right.
the desk,
What
because
do you
from that point, his
buy these
beard was like, all
flowers?
right.
But it was like, buy these flowers. I was like, giddy.
But if nothing, Anthony, he never could hold water. Like even from the very first time he manufactured that meeting with Logan, where she was like, usually like an intern could have done some stuff like this, and he was like, yeah, but I just wanted to meet you. And she's like, boy, if you don't stop wasting my time, like I got stuff, I got
I got
stuff to do. But he would always admit it when she came to his house. He was like, I can make the best short rib, but he didn't actually know how to make a short rib. He just knew he was gonna do what it took to make the best short rib.
cornball.
He
See,
was always telling on himself.
a cornball, a cornball. Otto, Otto, you made him fine. You made him nice looking. That's
Yeah.
all good, but still corny, very corny.
I,
Um,
s- I saw somebody comment about that pregnancy, and listen,
I
I did
wasn't ready
not.
for that either. But I had
I
a feeling when Elodie said, "You gonna get, you gonna have a baby for my brother," whatever terminology she said,
Yeah,
when they were having their heart to heart, I was like, "Ooh, ooh,
yeah.
okay." But I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't mad at it at all.
And she she got pregnant by the flowers. But I I wasn't expecting that, and I didn't want to do it. Like I didn't want to do it at all, because I and it may be it may be petty of me, but I'm at the point now where so many people like will be like, well, this wasn't a complete story, and this wasn't this, and this wasn't that at the end of my books, that I've been like, I ain't nobody getting married, ain't nobody having no babies. CCJ don't do that in her books. And so then Logan, here she come missing periods and stuff. And I'm like, sis, really? Like, this ain't how this is supposed to go down. And I remember like whining to my friends, like, I don't want to do this. I do not want to give my readers the satisfaction of a
That they know
baby.
you. That they know what's gonna happen in a CCJ book.
But I couldn't, when it's supposed to happen, it's supposed to happen. And so I wasn't gonna not do it. Like once it got implanted in my head, like, man, like what if she is pregnant? Like once that got implanted in my head, like it wouldn't let off of me. It wouldn't let me go. So yeah, it blew me too. It took me off guard too.
Like I said, I wasn't mad at it. Um, Nick,
Oh,
am I
no,
familiar with Nick? What?
huh?
Why did? Am I from? Where's Nick from?
Niggas from Relationship Goals. He's the one who he kissed Noah in the airport. They were strangers, and he kissed her at the airport.
Yes, yes. Okay. I kept saying, Nick. I'm telling you, so I was mad at myself that I couldn't go back and be like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm gonna
to go
connect
double check.
everybody. Yes, I have to connect everybody. I was trying to, connect everybody. Yes, I remember Nick.
But yeah, he was a filmmaker.
Yes. Okay. See, you're gonna have me going back. Because I have one of my coworkers, she is stuck on you guys right now. And she keeps saying, I went all the way back to the beginning of Christina's work. That's a lot of books I gotta catch up on.
So don't, girl, start at like the middle.
She said she gotta go all the way back and catch all the way up. There was something else I was gonna try to remember about Pierre. Oh, when they were at the okay, it's after 8 o'clock too. And I try not to keep y'all longer than an hour, but this is such a good book. So I promise you I'm not gonna hold you much longer.
No, I'm good.
um when he was stressing. Okay, wait, and remind me. Now this is gonna sound like I don't have no common sense or I can't remember shit, which is not true. I don't know when she said, when she was, remember when he was about to spiral back and she was trying to help him after they decided that they were going to, work on, them being together, just we're going to be together. That Will, I don't know why my mind went to the other Will, and it's like, that ain't even Will. That ain't even who that. My mind went to Connecticut Kings, and then it's like, that ain't
Yeah,
even.
no, not that Will. But
I
I'm gonna tell
know,
you.
because that's a female, and it's like later on, it was like, duh.
I'm gonna tell you which Will it is. You remember, I had a meeting with your book club. We had that phone meeting.
That,
It's the Will.
that
It's Jay's Will, not
right,
Jay's Will.
because
Cam's Will.
Cam's Will, and that's it. All came back to me
Yep.
then. I was like, oh, but I didn't remember that was the book club though. I
Yep.
remember the book
That's what we
club.
talked about.
Okay. See, I'm telling you. But so you would probably say don't go that far back
Yeah,
to
no,
that
don't do
book.
that. Start like around. I would say start like around the truth, the lies. Like start around there. And if you want to go back to that other stuff, that's cool. But
She loves Connecticut King series. She's read them. She's going all the
yeah.
way back. And they put out another one. I said next year. This is my co-teacher. Next year, I said, well,
Yep.
from what I told, next year. So
We're
we'll
aiming for
see.
spring. Yep.
How long? Yes, that's what I was going to touch on. How Logan broke the pregnancy to P3. I was like, I knew that's what she was getting ready to do, but she was like, "You need something to take your mind off of something." And I was like, "I know it. I know that's
Right.
what she do." She ready to, Ayana, I say I use sentence enhancers, but I was like, she ready to fuck his mind all the way up, right up. Oh,
Because
there she
mean, we,
is.
because
She's
we
talking the one that
know,
said, he's in the
we know
comments
how
talking about,
Logan is.
the
Well,
lady that
like
said,
it,
that's me. That's my co-teacher. We teach
okay.
fourth grade together. So you hear that, Chantra? She said, don't go all the way back to the beginning. Start in the middle somewhere. She's not gonna listen.
Yeah.
She's gonna do. Yes, I love that she threw him off, but that's so Logan. Like, okay, I got this. I knew she was gonna find the right
Right.
time to tell him and share that with him, which was
Right.
perfect.
Like I got a fix. She got a fix for every moment for whatever for whatever's going on. She got a fix for it.
You know what? I'm glad that their stuff wasn't so petty that they every little thing, every little disagreement or every little thing, like they was acting like true adults. Like, let's talk about this. Let's work this out. Like she could have really got mad at him when he walked up on her and Trey, and he thought it was intimate. She could have really went
Snapped
left.
on him. Yeah.
Right. She just thought it was funny. Like, it's funny. That's okay. You thought got your face broke. And Nubia, no, she
Right.
wrong. She knew
She really is.
I want to say she petty. She's so petty. Um, yes, I love that about them. Yeah, I did. I really love that they acted like true adults and talked about stuff. Even when
Yeah.
I'm
What's crazy is even like their little drama that they had, like, oh my God, my heart, my heart was so broken because it really could have been worse. Like, and it was really supposed to be worse. Like from what I had on my outline, it really was supposed to be like a full blown falling out and all of that. But just with everything going on, and I just mentally was not there. I just did not have it. And I mean, I didn't want to compromise the story by making it, well, everything is just always fine. They did have their kind of tough moments and, their little, they did have their little stuff and their little arguments and their little back and forths or whatever. So that it could stay true to their story. But I didn't have the heart to, I didn't have the heart to do too much drama.
right.
I didn't have it in me.
Like somebody saying, I love how they were open with each other, so mature. Yeah, like the whole when he took the picture. Now I thought them little girls was gonna do something else crazy. I thought they were gonna do something else crazy with the pictures, but they just posted them, and the
Yeah.
fact that it showed her background, how she was trying to, I mean, her lobby and all of that.
Yeah.
I like when she, as I tell my kids, use your words. she expressed to him, she was like, I did this for a long time, so I have a right. And I'm glad that he understood that when he went through his therapy. I have a right to feel the way I feel.
Mm.
Sometimes even in this household, oh, you got to get over that. And it's like, no,
Yep.
I want to be mad right now. I want to be pissed. I want to go lay in my bed and sulk. Let me go through them feelings and them emotions. And then, yes, I do eventually know I have to get over this, but let me have this moment. And I
Yeah,
think
that's
sometimes,
actually something that was in therapy for me too. It's like you get in such a hurry, like my therapist talked about how everybody's in such a hurry to, like, nobody wants to feel anything. We want to just hurry up and get past it. Like, oh, that's a stupid thing to be mad about, so I'm not going to be mad about that. Like, that doesn't work. Like, like,
no,
it doesn't actually work. You're still mad. Like, you're not
right,
not mad just because you said so. Like, you're still mad, and instead of just being mad, now you're mad and suppressing it, and now you're getting even more mad because
right. It's
nobody's
gonna blow over.
noticing. Right, nobody's noticing that you're mad because you're acting like you're not mad, and it just piles on top of each other. And it's
Right,
like, for
right.
what? When you could just, when you could just feel the feeling, and then, you'll get past it faster if you just go ahead and feel what you're feeling, instead of trying to make it into something else. And I think that as women, I really think that that's, like, I think it's something that we do a lot, and I think it's something that we push onto heroines a lot in romance, because something that I see a lot is a lot of people saying, that they don't like the heroines in romance, and they don't, every time the heroine, isn't like bending over backwards or falling all over herself for the hero. It's like, if she's uncertain about the hero, or, if she's going back and forth about whether or not she wants to be with the hero, it's like, girl, stop playing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we're mad and we're annoyed with her, when what does real life show us? And it's like, you got punished for feeling those things in your real life. And so
Mhm,
now you're going to take that out on, you're going to take it out on everybody else. And you're going to take it out
mhm,
on, the woman in this book, instead of really empathizing with her, instead of really sitting and thinking through it, instead of really relating to her, because this is something that all of us go through. And especially, this is a tangent, I admit, but especially the wishy-washy thing. Like, I hate that, because it's like, we
mhm,
see what the dating scene is like in real life. We've seen people get scammed and people get catfished, and we've seen people get done dirty, you know, in all kinds of ways. But the minute the heroine doesn't automatically know everything that's happening in the hero's head, and she's not falling at his feet, and she's not believing everything that comes out of his mouth, all of a sudden it's, oh, she annoying. Why don't you stop? She getting on my nerves. Like, dude, she's trying to protect herself. Like, she's
right,
like,
right.
what?
It's
you
what
know,
we do. It's what we
right.
do. Okay, the first sign of trouble, I'm out. Especially now at 52. I'm 51. The
Yeah.
first, the first, you ain't got to get. It don't even have to be a red flag. If it looked like the pole is about to show a touch of red, I'm out. And instead of saying, okay, let me see, let me see. I mean, everybody is
Yep.
not perfect. It's gonna be some. I always say I want somebody that's gonna have some give and take. Accept me for my flaws and all. Well, hell, I mean, I gotta do the same damn thing. I can't
Yep.
expect you to do that. I don't reciprocate that same thing to you. I agree with you, Edrizina. It was a healthy relationship. No, they didn't think they was in a relationship. They was just going with the flow. Um, yes, it was nothing toxic about it, and I think that's what made the whole thing. Because I think they both had enough. I don't want to say toxic stuff going on with their families. Pierre was really dealing with all of the stuff that he dealt with, things that he
Yep.
saw hanging out, being with his dad, and the cover up, and the alcohol to cover up his pain. So I don't
Yep.
think they didn't need any toxic. They needed a safe place
Yeah.
with each other. And I think that's exactly um what they got. And I really like that part. Um I'm gonna jump to the end only because I know I'm gonna forget. Um I was like, I see what you're doing here, CJ, when he was telling his truth about how you don't tell an artist what to do and blah blah blah. And then next thing you know, the end. I was like, I saw that. I like basically I'm telling y'all now, this is how this goes. You don't get to tell me how to write my story. And I agree with that 100%.
And I appreciate that because it does get frustrating sometimes. I mean, obviously not everybody is gonna like, everybody has their own taste, everybody has their own opinions, etc. Not everybody's gonna like everything, which is fine. But where I start getting bent out of shape is when people start telling me, well, this should have been that, and this wasn't enough of this, and this wasn't enough of that. It's like, well, since you write a book and you can put all that stuff that all that stuff that you wanted in there, you can do it. You can do it. I got a whole series on YouTube to to help you out to show you
Right.
how to do it.
Right.
Like if you don't like what if you don't like it, that's fine. Again, cool if you don't like it. But just don't try to tell me what my work should have been or what like just don't do that.
And you know what? I think because Josh was always a reader first before Indie Love was even because when we had that first conversation you and I had for the book club, Indie Love wasn't nowhere. I shouldn't say it wasn't nowhere, but it wasn't where it was fruition. It might have been a thought for one individual, but not to what it went to. So this she just threw me off. Lord, what was I gonna say? I lost my whole train of thought. Somebody sent me a message saying something, and I just lost my whole train of thought. Anyway, it'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. I want to touch on Sienna one more time. When we're talking about when how she was behind old girl, and I didn't know she had a partner in crime doing her dirty
Oh,
work.
the assistant. Yeah. Yeah. Just doing stuff. Like find some business.
Yeah, like, uh, girl. And then you're gonna play this role of, oh, I left my panties in here last night. I was so glad that she worked it out, that Logan worked it out in her head.
Like, girl, no. Like
Like, wasn't with
like not
me.
with this.
Could have been, but
Right.
nah, nah. Whereas
That
somebody
ain't
else,
him.
right? No, I promise you, I loved all of that. I keep saying it, all of that. Oh yeah, when she put her by a ponytail, hilarious.
Now
That was about as
I was
all.
crack I was cracking up at myself. And I started to take that out. Like, you know what, don't do that. But then I was
No,
like, no, it works.
it did. It worked 100%. It did. Thank you, Devin, for bringing that to my memory because that was I'm telling you, I'll be in my room sometime. I know they think I'm crazy as hell because I'll just start laughing, and then like, "What you? Don't worry about it. I'm just," or they'll probably say, "Oh, she in there reading. I can't." But let me be downstairs and start doing it, and they just kind of look at me and be like, "Don't worry, I'm just enjoying my book here, enjoying my book." I know it's gonna be some stuff that I'm gonna remember later that I want to touch on, but long
That's
as
how
you
it always
know,
is.
I know I thoroughly enjoyed it. So besides making stickers, so you'll tell us I'm just making stickers and drawing stickers, and then all of a sudden it'll be, oh, I got a book coming out, and you just be like, wait, what?
Now, now, I do have a little something that I am planning. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but it's like some other hype stories. Like I wrote what was kind of like a follow up for Eddie and Astrid, and then the other two couples are new couples. And what the idea is that for kind of maybe not every holiday, but the first one is going to be kind of centered around Halloween, and then maybe maybe Christmas, maybe or maybe not Thanksgiving, but either Thanksgiving or Christmas there will be another one, but it would be like three couples, and it would be like an established couple, like a couple that we already met in another book, and then
Mhm.
two other stories to kind of make it like a trio or whatever. So it would be like a short story collection with three. And I've already written Eddie and Asterisks, but it's not been edited. And I wrote it while I was dictating, while I was like exercising on the bike. And so it's gibberish. And so I have to completely go back through and, and fix it to get it edited. But that'll be sometime in October though. Like I really am, like I really am kind of trying to make myself take like a true break. And what helps that is that this project has actually been my most successful project, like in terms of sales and stuff like that. It's been my most successful project, like to date, like of all time. And so that gives me room. That gives me room to relax. So thank y'all, everybody who's purchased, everybody who's, shared it and told friends about it and all of that. Like I so appreciate you guys, because I was scared, like, because this $6.99 price point, this I've never done that price point. But my logic was for reinvention of the rose, it was half of this length. And I put that one at $5.99. And so I was like, if I wrote twice as much book, like I can't put it at $5.99, So I did, it's at a little bit of a higher price point than what I'm used to pricing my projects. But you guys supported me anyway, and I appreciate it.
I remember what I was going to say before that message threw me off. I was going to say, I think um, social media, and not that it's a bad thing or that events and things have given us so much access to authors
Mhm.
that readers think there's no boundaries, you
Yep.
know. I had somebody else was telling me that they get, I think on Day of Indie Love that we did Indie Love, I think it was Monica and Chelsea was saying, oh yeah, they get in your inbox and they say whatever. And I'm like, y'all
Yeah.
lying. It was like, no,
No.
they getting, then it clicked. I'm like, I'm not writing, but I'm doing events, and I get people in my inbox telling me, oh, you need to have so and so and so and so come.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and then when I don't do it, it's like what you don't realize is I remember everything. So when you were nasty to me, I remember that stuff. You're not supposed to hold that stuff, but I remember those things. It's like, but I think the because you all are so welcoming and you love on your fans just like your fans love on you,
Yep.
there's no boundaries. We don't know how to draw a line between what's appropriate. We thinking we helping, but we're not helping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I was gonna say before I.
And I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because it's like in some
Right.
ways I love it. Like, yes, like somebody the other day sent me, like, it was a reader, and she sent me like a post on Instagram about like ways to like preserve herbs and stuff like that. And she was like, I just thought about you, and I thought this is something you'd be interested in. I'm like, yes, sis, I am interested in this. Thank you. And and so it's like the stuff, those parts are, that's awesome and that's great. But when you get people who, will come in your inbox and say stuff like,
Can you
I
imagine us
I don't
walking
even
up
know.
to? Could you imagine us even 10 years ago walking up to Eric Jerome Dickey saying,
Absolutely not.
I ain't like the way you did such and such and such and such.
Absolutely not.
With, another man's wife. I think that's the name of that book, whatever it was, and or Terry McMillan. Why you do them women? I mean, can you eat? There's no way.
And me and Alexandra, we actually recorded a Girl Have You Read episode, a podcast episode where we talk about exactly that, and that's exactly who we mention. That is exactly who we bring up, to make the point. We didn't have that kind of access to our faves, back then. We didn't have that kind of access, and you're
You
right.
had to.
Sometimes that boundary doesn't exist, and a lot of times I try to, a lot of times you can kind of tell when people don't really mean any harm. And so
Right.
even if it is offensive, it's kind of like, you know what, let me just take a step back, and I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. And then I've gotten to the point now that I just kind of ignore, like, when people get nasty with me, like I'll click into it to make sure that you see that I saw it, but then I just go find something else to do,
Right.
instead of engaging it, because the last thing I need is, well, look at what CCJ is over here doing in the box. And I
Yeah.
just don't like that energy anyway. Like I just don't,
I'm, I'm,
I don't want to do that anyway. But yeah.
um, and then I'm gonna jump on something else. Taylor says even though she's talking about Sienna sucked, she felt just a little bit bad for Sienna, just a smidge. She was obviously hurt, and hurt people hurt people. I really wanted her to get some help. I don't. She could, man.
No, no, I agree with
I mean,
that.
I
I agree
get
with
it.
that. I agree with that. And it was
do.
in the back of my
That.
mind. It was in the back of my mind, but she was just so ugly that I just, like I said, it took everything in me
You
not
walk
to have
in
her
like
die.
you were intimate with this man. You know what he's went through, and you walk into the restaurant talking about y'all boring. Let's have some shots. I'm just like,
Right,
girl, go
right.
sit down.
And
And
I agree. She does like she's spiraling. She has her stuff that she's going through, and I'm just like, please, brain, do not bring her back to me for her to be a heroine
Taylor
somewhere.
knew what book I was talking about Eric Jerome Dickey. She said the other woman. I think that is. I think that was. I was just,
Yeah.
but that was when I put an example of that book. um, last thing, and then I'm not. I can see this going on. It's going on 8:30. I don't want to keep you too much longer. I love what you guys are, and I'm saying you guys are doing with Lakewood, the Heights.
Hey.
I mean the it's almost like I feel like, let me see,
W A
WGWA.
W A W G. We all we got.
I almost feel like that's a real damn studio. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just love all the way everything is connected. You know what I'm saying? And I love that you have even the wine country. I love them stories too. Like, I just
Yeah.
I keep
I gotta
saying
get back to them.
you did those, and then Ashley Nicole did kind of something like that. And I was telling her, y'all making me want to go find a little country town like that, like at Christmas.
Hey.
I be watching these Hallmark movies sometimes, and I was like, I said, I want to go find one of these little towns like this for the holidays.
That would be
And
cute. That would
these
be that's a
I'm not
vibe.
find somebody that want to go. These 55 folks in my house just kind of looked at me like, well, you go on and do that corny stuff. We ain't going. Oh, Sugar Valley. Yes, yes.
Yep.
I got my it's right back here with all of my other stuff. I got my honey branch. Why this is still up here, I don't know, but
Hey, actually, before we go, I've got. Let me see. Hold on a second. All right, I've got this box. I don't know. I actually don't know what's in this box. Like, not exactly. I know that it has some type of urban grind mug or something like that. I know it's got some. It's either got a candle or some wax melts in it. It's got um, it's got a signed copy of Reinvention of the Rose. It's got probably a keychain. And I'll give this away. You can pick somebody and just send me their address. Like, I don't care how you pick them, but you can pick somebody for a giveaway and send their address, and I'll send it to them.
okay, I'm gonna do it like we do. Devin, tell me I want it. So I'm going to do the spin the wheel thing. So let me jot down these names real quick. Devin and Drazina. And I could always go back and look at the comments. Devin.
Yeah, I'm tentative. I'm gonna cut it open.
Oh, Tara. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
gonna open it because I want to see, because I can just refill it. But I was packing stuff up one day and was like, oh, I've got an extra, and I just left it closed. So what's in here? I'm pull it up. What do I have in here? Oh, this one's got wax melts. It's got the fresh lineup scent wax melt. And oh, it's this is the I'm not gonna tear it open, but this is the I'm trying to see if I have another one, but this is the Urban Grind. It's one of the metal water bottles, one of those nice water bottles,
Mhm.
and a copy of Reinvention of the Rose. So yeah, that's what's in there.
Okay. All right. I'm jotting down y'all names and I'm gonna put it in that spin the wheel thingy. And I gotta find it though. I ain't gonna do it right this second, but I'll get CCJ the information. And I'll let you all know. Maybe I'll do it live. I'll do the spin the wheel so they won't say, or I'll record it or something. So when nobody say I'm being shady, I messed, I didn't pick the right person. I don't want to hear all of that. I don't. But we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much, CCJ. I really
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me. Always a
Thank you,
good
ladies,
time.
for joining. You all ladies have a good evening. Okay, so I know I lied last week and said I wasn't gonna have nobody, or the week before that I said I wasn't gonna have nobody. But really next week I don't. I don't. The next person I want to talk to is Genesis, but I don't want to say the wrong last name. But
Talking about Genesis Woods.
Sweet Remedy was that Genesis Carter. You know, it's two of them.
Oh, I don't think I know a second one.
Okay. So
But I also I don't be knowing nothing.
so I read the Sweet Remedy series. So if you but I need to reread it again. It's 4 books. So I need to reread it. So I really ain't lost. It's like I remember some things, but when it's 4 books, it's a lot to take in. So I need to get with her and schedule her for my next one. So it'll probably be maybe a couple of weeks for y'all see me again. Um, unless something pop up and it's like, ooh. So you all have a great evening. CCJ, you hold on.
Bye, guys.
You all have a great evening and a great weekend. Stay safe. Let's see.